Welcome, one and all. It's the Tottenham versus Manchester United, a rivalry that never loses its spice. The Spurs fans calling for revenge, and United fans are demanding consistency. Amarim's Reds walking into North London looking for statement points because 5 wins ain't enough when you're supposed to be rebuilding giants, and Tottenham sit sixth, United on eighth. Mirror images of chaos, guys. Both leaking goals, both searching for an identity. But today, we're going to talk about the pride and the commitment and who is going to be dominant and reign supreme in the first game tomorrow, the 12:30 kickoff. It's going to be very interesting, guys. Let's get ready to look at it. Of course, you know the manager has had a lot to say. Let's check out what the manager was talking about. Let's see what's going on, guys. Welcome to the stream. It's your boy, MarkN MUFCFAN, and you know what it is. Smash the likes and subscribe. That's the predicted lineup there below, guys. So check it out. Let me know what you think. But in the meantime, let's listen to what the manager thought and what he had to say ahead of the Ruben Amorim presser. Let's dive right into it, guys.
Hi, Ruben. We've spoken positively in recent weeks about the run of form that the team's on, the performances across the season so far as well. You've spoken positively about. What sort of shape do you think the side are in for the game this weekend? How confident do you think your team is now after the start of this campaign and the results recently?
I think, again, I think we are more confident. We believe more that we can win any game, and we prove already that we can win any game. The last game was tough on us because in some moments we were not the team that we supposed to be in every minute, and compare that to Brighton. And we suffered 2 goals against Brighton, but was a different thing. So we know that we cannot forget that we have a lot to improve. We are more prepared for anything that happened in the game, so that is also a good thing. We are in the better moment, but we also know that we have a lot to do, a lot to improve, to be to win more this kind of games and consistently win games in a row. So we know that we are capable, we are confident, but we also know that we struggle sometimes in games that we need to do better.
Interesting.
You said before that you know what sort of game your team's going to have almost in the first action in the match. You can see that the way that they start will be the way that they go on. Do you still feel like that, or do you feel like you can trust your team a little bit more to cope with the different ups and downs matches, even if they don't start well, they can finish well?
I think a little bit both. I think we can manage the game better now. We can always change from one moment that we are struggling. We can change that. Also because we have players that can change that for us, not as a team, but sometimes the individual can help us to change that. But if you look the game against Nottingham that we control in the first half, but the energy, if you compare, if you put the two games at the same time, you can sense the energy was not the same. And that is something that you can watch in the first moments of the game. So it's a little bit both.
Hi, Ruben. You're playing Tottenham for the first time since the Bilbao disappointment.
100%.
You've touched on your side and changes. I just wondered how different you think your team is now to the one that lined up in the Europa League final.
First of all, the characteristics of the players. We have different characteristics in our team, but we also have a lot of players that play last year. So we are a better team. We play better. We understand the game better. I think we are more confident. We reached that final confident that we could win because we were doing well in Europe. But in this moment, we play with a different confidence. We managed better the moments of the game. But if you remember that game, they have that shot on the goal, they won the game. So I expect a different game, that we can play better, but also to have a little bit luck to help us to win the game.
Another difference last
Interesting
season.
point from the manager there.
Tell me there's been lots of injuries this week, but you don't seem to have as many injuries this season as you've had in the past, and historically United have had in recent seasons? Is there a change?
No, it's not change. It's one game every week, and then again a little bit luck, because sometimes you have problems with players with knocks, and it's not something that soft issues. So you never know what is going to happen in the next training. If you play with intensity in training, something can happen. But I think the big reason, of course, we try to do everything well. The big reason is one game every week. You can give an extra day to the players that you know that could struggle in the next training. So I think that is the biggest reason.
Simon and then Dan.
Ruben, you conceded 2 goals last week, conceded 2 against Brighton. You've still only kept 1 clean sheet. Is that a problem for you?
Yeah, it's a problem, especially if you see the league nowadays. The team that is winning all the games is not suffering, is not goals, maybe some shots on target, and that is a big thing, especially when you have talented players. If you defend well, in one opportunity you can score a goal and win a game. But I think it's not. It's more again a team thing.
100%.
We need to defend better. We need to be more aggressive, and that part of the energy. When we have the full energy in every ball, we defend better. So everything is connected. But of course, we have a lot to do. We cannot suffer the amount of goals that we are suffering, and that is a thing that we need to improve.
And is it possible, because it's a collective thing, is it possible to reduce the number of goals without reducing the amount you score at the other end? Because in a way, you're not committing quite as much.
No, I think if you can attack really well. Sometimes when you defend better, you attack better. So I think it's not that. It's the way we defend the box. But the last game, I think we struggle a little bit inside the box, because outside the box, we allow the crosses without any pressure. So these small details that you watch from the last game, we worked during this week to try to improve that. The opponents, we suffer goals in the beginning, especially in the beginning of the season, but we didn't allow much to Arsenal to win that game. But in our last game, they had 17 shots that we cannot allow. That is something that we need to change, and we pay attention to that. So yeah, we can attack the same way. We can score even more goals, but we need to defend better.
Ruben, I'm not
100%
suggesting there's any
agreed there.
positives
Can't
losing
dispute
a
that.
final, but after not having European football, in terms of the strategy in the summer, making maybe the club reduce the squad size, you have more time on the training ground. Are you seeing the positives of maybe those 2 factors?
Yeah, it's not the fact of seeing the positive, it's using the positives. So any situation that you have in our life, you can look in the positive way or in a bad way. If you ask me, you prefer to be here with a cup in Champions League, more money, more players, maybe. Of course, I would say yes, but you have the other side. You have more time to train, to know your players, to arrange everything, the connection between staff, and prepare the future. And the future will be with the European competition. So we just try to use the positive thing of not playing all the games during the week. So yes, I can see the positives.
If you don't mind, your former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo has come out this week with a few comments.
Don't
about
really
the club. He
agree with
said
that statement
you
there,
know,
but
you're
it is
doing
what
a
it
good
is.
job,
We'll
but
talk
you
about
can't
it, guys.
provide miracles. But he was also a bit damning on the players, saying that some players don't have Manchester United in their mind. Do you think that's quite unfair, maybe, from a club legend like him, that maybe some of those players in the squad look up to as a legend of the game?
It's of course he knows, and he has a huge impact in everything he said. What we need to focus is in the future. We know that we as a club made a lot of mistakes in the past, but we are trying to change that. So let's not focus what happened. Let's focus what we are doing now, and we are doing that. We are changing a lot of things in the structure, the way we do things, the way we want the players to behave. We are doing that, and we are improving. So let's focus on the way we are doing things. We are improving. Let's continue and forget a little bit the past.
Guys, interesting updates from the manager there. What can I say? Let's get into it, because It is interesting. Shout out to Stephanie Griffith coming in. Shout out to you, Hayden, in the building. The manager isn't really walking on water. He's, you know what I mean? He's, of course, we agree that there's some things that, Manchester United has not done well at. Of course, we are not in Europe this season, so now is the time to prepare and work with the squad and build towards Europe next season. Of course, we'll agree with that there. But then look at some of the interesting things. You know what I mean? Spurs sit sixth in the table. Man United are eighth. You know, same record, same chaos. Who pulls away today? Well, tomorrow, basically. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Because from the manager's statements, I would say that he's pretty confident in the team. He's prepared them for this game. Of course, we know they were playing 8-on-6s in training and and 6-on-4s. And this was in a bid to, get the players a little bit more ready for the possible clusters that will be happening in the game against Thomas Frank and the way he likes to sit deep and defend. So this gets very interesting. It gives me a little bit of confidence. I have to say, I've been feeling more confident about this game than about the Nottingham Forest game. For some strange reason, I felt like we were going to, at worst, get a draw against Nottingham Forest. But I can tell you, and my buddy Bali could tell you all as well, I've been pretty confident about going into this Tottenham game. I think the way we play, I think some of the players we've brought into the team, even if you guys might know that I may not be the hugest fan of Matthias Cunha, I think the way he plays is going to be pivotal for us getting our attacks in Spurs and causing major problems. I think his running and driving with the ball is going to create lots of problems for Spurs. It's going to cause their defense to cluster around in the middle of the box, opening room on the wings for players like Dorgu and Ahmad to do their jobs. And of course, guys, I don't know what your thoughts are, but let me know in the comments because it's going to get very interesting in this game tomorrow. It's game week 11. The last game before another international break. Again, guys, we're not going to be back with football until the 22nd of November. So it's a game we must get 3 points. And if we do manage to get 3 points, it might be very interesting to see where United land on the table. We could be enjoying a 2-week period at fourth in the table if we get 3 points. And that's going to be pivotal for our, progression or momentum and all these sorts of things. Spurs luck will run out tomorrow. It's payback time, says Stephanie Griffith. And of course, I have to agree with Steph because, they've got us 4 in a row last season. We have to give them back with a statement win. And I'm expecting a big performance because both teams are on 17 goals. We were not able to say something like that last season, maybe even the season before. We've been finding our way to scoring goals in the back of the net, guys. Can Amarim United turn XG into W's at the Tottenham Hotspur ground? And this is going to get very interesting at White Hart Lane because, guys, they have themselves struggling in some moments. Of course, they've had a brilliant win in midweek. But Man United has been showing that we can score goals consistently across all performances in the last 5 games. And I would say to you, this is far cry from where we were last season, struggling with our offense, misfiring most of the time. And I think this provides a very dangerous precedent for Spurs. And Spurs, they may not be looking at us as seriously as they should. They may be telling themselves, we're going to tap these guys again. But what I can tell you is that Manchester United is coming and the thunder will be brought and the Red Devils will be stomping on the ground as we march forward. And of course, you can see 3 points is there, but we must take it. And of course, I don't know what your thoughts are, guys, but when I look at the head-to-head, United, 39 wins, Spurs 12. Recent form, of course, 3 wins for United in 5. Can we win in North London again? And I'm talking about 3 wins in the Prem. We've lost to them 4 times last season, but that was 2 in the Prem. It also was 1 in the Carabao Cup, I believe, and again in the Europa League final. So in the Prem form, it's 3-2. They've won 2 back-to-back. We've won 3 out of the last 5. It provides an interesting dynamic as we go away. It maybe might give Man United fans some hope that we can get a result. And of course, guys, we need 3 points. It will get us in a nice standing. Of course, if we were to get 1 point, yeah, I think we'd be somewhere between 5th and 7th. But at the end of the day, guys, it's not a rush. It's a marathon, and Man United must do what they need to do to get themselves one game at a time as far up the table as possibly. Spurs press high, but this leaves room for Man United to counter. Could we kill them if our execution is sharp enough? Well, I would say to you guys, if you look at Ahmad's performance in the last 2 games, he's been critical. His vision has been very, very keen, and his passing has been even better. And guys, what I can tell you is that goal he has scored was a banger in the last game. You know, I was unable to do a watch along because your boy was in Barcelona with my family, but at the same time, I have to say it was a very nice goal. Shout out to you, Ahmad. You know, big up, more to see, more to come, and of course, hopefully, more assists as well. Because guess what? The link up with Mbeumo is looking good. Mbeumo is on 4 goals and an assist in the Prem. 1 more will make it 5. Maybe he gets a brace tomorrow, and we're all happy days. But looking forward to other things. Sesko is a bit struggling. The manager has also talked about it. He's having a little bit of a time adjusting to the league. But hopefully the Serbian will get himself on the score sheet. You know, he is 2 goals in 2 games, but the last 2 games, he hadn't managed to get a goal, but got an assist. So he's still ticking things over, but hopefully he can, you know, break out himself on his performances and get some goals where we need it most. Of course, I think it's going to get interesting. Are we going to slap Tottenham? That's what you're saying, Bali. We're going to slap Tottenham. Mason Mount is my key player for this game. Bro, I think I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, broski. I forgot to send it to you as well. I'm gonna drop the link if you want to come in and have your say. You know, I'm just gonna go through the last talking point on what I think could be possible. Of course, you can give your views, Steph. You know, let's hear what Steph has to say. Just think the squad for experience, but hopefully they get a few minutes late on. You know, that might be interesting. Are they bringing Diego Leone into the first team? Well, it's left to be seen. The youngster has shown great improvement in his development in the academy setup. So it's not something that I won't, you know, be open to or hoping to see. I think it would be interesting. The likes of these youngsters getting their chances. It's always something Man United fans want to see. Another talking point, injuries that playing a part. Can United stay compact and handle that Spurs front line away at Spurs? But guys, you know, I think that's going to be the interesting topic. Of course, you know, we are missing a few players. Of course, Spurs are missing a few players through injury, but at the same time, I think who we have are certainly strong enough to get the job done. But I mean, you know what I mean? We did fall twice to these guys in the league last season. Bali, what you saying, broski?
Not a much, bro. Not a much. Yeah, so we're talking about the game, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to the game. I want to see Mason Mount play because obviously I think he brings a lot to the table as far as pressing from the front. And obviously he does all the dirty work that some of our other players don't really want to do. And against some of the bigger teams, these are the types of games where you get caught out and sometimes you have to put your ego to the side a little bit. So somebody like Mason Mount is already putting his ego to the side. He just works hard for the team and he doesn't really put too many feet wrong when he plays for us. So I've always said it, even under Ten Hag, that even though he doesn't necessarily have many standout games, the team always plays better as a result of when he plays. Kind of similar to Xerxes. Even if Xerxes doesn't score a goal, the team still play good in and around him. So I'm looking forward to see. I'm assuming that if Mason Mount plays, then one of 2 things will happen. Either that means Cunha is getting dropped, or that means Sesko is getting dropped. But I do really think that the manager will start Mason Mount. I just have a strong feeling. He's been dropped for I think the last 2 games now. So He's been fully rested, and yeah, it's actually been a blessing that the likes of him and Luke Shaw have been able to stay fit thus far. I know he had a little niggle right in the beginning of the season, but he's largely been able to maintain a level of fitness that we haven't seen since his arrival at the club.
True, and to be fair, Broski is one of those things where, you know, I think we've seen good performances from Mason Mount. I think he should be starting. Of course, if the manager is resting him, maybe he's taking into consideration managing his fitness because there's AFCON coming up in the next couple of weeks, But at the same time, I think this game is one game where I think more than Mason Mount, we need Cunha to step up in this game. I think this is where, we will see the best performance from him. And it also have the likes of Dorgu, who I think might be a key starter if he was to give him the opportunity in this game, because the way Dorgu will be getting down the flank and Cunha driving in, drawing Porro into the field, I think it leaves opening for us to get in behind from the wings. So yeah, I think my key player in this game would be our two wingers, Amad Diallo and Dorgu if he starts, or well, Dallo if Dorgu doesn't start. But those are my key players for the game. That's just my opinion, bro.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I say, I'm looking forward to the game. It is going to be a bit weird when certain people go to AFCON, which is why I would like to see the likes of Kobe Manu and Joshua Zirkzee get some minutes, some game time, because we need them at peak fitness condition by the time AFCON rolls around. Obviously I want to see the continuation of the form of Brian and Bumo, likes of Cunha. Mateus de Ligt has been a beast at the back. I've been very impressed with the type of form that he's showed all season. He's literally been Mr. Consistent. You could say one of the best defenders in the Premier League. I think there's no shadow of a doubt. And then Sene Lamens has been an absolute wall in goal. And long may that continue. Obviously, we're unbeaten in the last 4. We've won 3 out of the last 4, drawing 1. I think we're on a decent run, and we would be at probably near enough the top of the form guide, if not the top of all teams. Maybe Arsenal will be at the very top, and then we might just be behind them because of our form as well. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the game. Manchester United in fine form. Spurs subsequently not really that good at home, but have a beast-like away form. So we haven't been that great at home ourselves, but hopefully we can take advantage of the way Spurs play now. Spurs play a high-pressing game, and we're going to be kicking it long anyway, so that can negate their press a little bit. But then their Achilles heel is that they like to play out from the back. So I'm expecting the likes of Acuna, the likes of Mason Mount, the likes of a Brandon Bumo, the likes of a Amad Diallo to win the ball back high up the pitch and then catch them out cold the same way we did against Brighton.
I think that would be interesting. I think that might be exactly what it is we're looking for in terms of, what we need to do in the game. At the end of the day, we need to take the game to Tottenham in such of a way as well. We can't just sit back and allow them, because they're at home, to do their thing and be comfortable. United needs to go and come out, play aggressively, play expansively. Test their defense. Pull them out, try to keep possession, try to keep as much control as possible in the game as well, and get an early goal. I think that's where we would we would take complete control of the first half if we were supposed to score off the early goal in the game, and hopefully it's something that we do.
Yeah, obviously, if we score an early goal, then really and truly, all we have to think about is not conceding. And then the more Tottenham throw bodies forward in order to score a goal, then we can catch them out cold and hopefully start slowly killing them, score another goal. And then when they're trying to push for a goal, score another goal. And then slowly force them into retreating and going into their shell at home. And I would love to do that to them. 3-0 victory, Manchester United versus Tottenham, going away with the W at the Tottenham Stadium.
And that's all what we're looking for, bro. So to be fair, like, I just want United to win. I know we need 3 points, and at the end of the day, Tottenham might be. Then I don't think they're in better form than Manchester United right now. Shout out to Irfan in the building. Rule of probabilities: United will win. I know I'm going to say something similar, Broski, to be fair, because, I did feel a little bit nervous about the game against Nottingham Forest. I wasn't able to extrapolate that or give that information to you guys openly as much because I wasn't able to have the watch along that I planned because I was in Barcelona. But, I'm here for the watch along tomorrow. We will be live from 11:45 UK time, getting ready. And so join us as we warm up to this game. But I was always confident about this game. And I don't know why exactly I'm confident, other than the reason that I've seen a few of Tottenham games, and we are plenty more energetic and in your face in the last 30 minutes of the game than a lot of the teams that they have faced. And I think those are the moments where it's critical for United to execute and be critical when we do get our attacking chances, because Tottenham tends to get a little bit lackadaisical, as a Caribbean I would say, or complacent during the late stages of the game when they start to feel fatigue. And these are the windows that United will have to exploit to finish this game off. Obviously, we have to take an aggressive start to the first half and try to get ourselves into an early lead. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a United win. I'll go ahead and say my prediction for this game is a United win 4-1. I think United is going to score a lot of goals. I think, as I said, the key players in this game for me, Amad Diallo and the other winger, whether it's Dallo or Dorgu. I think those are key players, but I would also love to see Benjamin Sesko get on the score sheet. Hayden, I don't know about you. What are your thoughts, bro?
Broski, I think for me, we just have to go out and put it on them, I think, from minute one. Don't let them rest. Force them into errors, score early, and then ultimately, I just I want the 3 points, but I want to be entertained a little bit as well. So if there's any slick pieces of play that we can apply from what they've been learning on the training ground all week, apply it. Yeah, we can win a little bit ugly. I don't mind that, but I want to be entertained because Tottenham beat us 4 times last season, right? It didn't feel good every time we played these geezers and we lost to them. Not only that, but we lost a final that I could have bet my whole house on it that we wouldn't have beat that final. I mean, we wouldn't have got beat that final. So for the simple fact that we did get beat, yeah,
Hmm.
that means I'm a house down, yeah, and I want revenge, mate. Yeah. So we need to go out there, absolutely bitch slap them, put them to the sword, yeah, make a mockery out of them so we can put some memes on Twitter and just enjoy our day with the 3 points at Tottenham Stadium, which we can nickname London's Old Trafford after we slap them.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's the case. Guys, what can I say? We're all looking forward to a possible win of Man United this weekend. We're all pretty much confident to an extent, I would say, more confident than we were going against Newcastle, it sounds like, to be honest. Of course, Irfan is saying Sesko, Cunha, and Bruno scores, or I agree with you, Mark, if both Mbumo and Bruno scores. 100%, bro. We'll see how it goes, and of course, we certainly are looking forward to a win tomorrow. Join us here live at 11:45. You know your boy will be here. Bali Tech as well. And of course, everyone will be joining us. So come in, have your fun. Let's support the Red Devils. Glory, glory, Man United, as we march on to glory. One game a week, but maybe in January, you never know, we could be one game a week into a challenge that we never saw coming. So let's see how it goes, guys. Have a great night. Your boy MarkN. Peace out to each and every one of you. And we'll be catching you guys later on.